There's about 700,000 children in Australia that are in households that are in low incomes or experiencing poverty.
The definition of poverty is fairly standard in terms of it is only output based. It's a number.
Yep.
But it is driven by many factors.
It is.
Where you're born, which family you're born in,
Yep.
people who you are supporting, how big is your extended family, how many friends you have. All that community comes into a play. What do you think the measures to define poverty and how is it limiting or not limiting?
Yeah, so in Australia, the kind of the measure that's commonly used, that we use as well, is the Henderson poverty line, and 50% of median income is generally regarded as the point at which you measure someone's experience of poverty. What that tells us is someone's experience of income poverty, being a low income. That helps us understand one dimension of poverty, of course, and by that we know that there's about 700,000 children in Australia that are in households that are in low incomes or experiencing poverty. That's become particularly acute with cost of living pressures.
Yes.
And we see in very real terms how that impacts the families that we're supporting, with having to make impossible choices as to how they use their limited funds, which has a direct impact on a child's education, not being able to afford the sort of resources that are needed, and just the increased stress and mobility of families because of their experience of poverty. So that's kind of an important dimension, but of course there are others. You might think about there's a family's social capital, so the diverse array of relationships that they have or don't have that helps them think about their future and their child's future. So, young people that we're working up with, 70% of the families we work with have parents and carers that are unemployed. A young person's future is often enabled by a parent's own networks, professional networks, education networks that helps them navigate university, TAFE courses or future employment. That's social capital. That's another dimension to think about in terms of poverty. But equally, access to essential resources and services, things like digital technology, which we think about as kind of the new frontier of poverty, the degree to which you can participate in a digital economy. 44% of the students that we support don't have access to a digitally connected laptop at home. And we know there's about 400,000 secondary students in Australia that are in the same situation. So that's another dimension to poverty that has a particular contemporary edge to it, and is obviously limiting in terms of a young person being able to realise their potential if they don't have those, being in an environment where there's resources, access to digital resources, but also that social capital and that network of relationships.